Welcome to next session. In today's session, we will try to finish the part of the first module of sequential circuits. The earlier lectures were given to you on YouTube, which covered till flip-flop. Now, counters, shift registers and memory block are the remaining points. Of that memory block I discussed in detail in the lectures which were required to give idea of microcontroller on Arduino. Counters and shift registers we will discuss today. Students need not worry about what would be the contents for the examination. I will be holding the interactive sessions this week surely and explaining everything in detail. Till that time they should continue to watch once again the sessions on first module, that is sequential circuits, second module, that is op-amp, and the fundamentals of third module, that is the microcontroller based things, the architecture what I have discussed. The remaining part of Arduino which is there is quite simple and easily understandable. It simply contains the things which once the background what we had discussed is clear, is very simple, and even a high school or junior college going student can also achieve some kind of expertise just by practice. So leaving that things aside, we shall focus on the concept of counters today. So what is a counter? Obviously counting is a process which is a quite natural process that even in preschool mathematical ideas which are there in day-to-day life we are able to count. So in digital things now, the concept of counting, what we have got is that the number system what we have got in digital is a binary number system. The number system what we have got is a binary number system, whereas in practice we are having a decimal number system. So in decimal number system, there are 10 symbols to represent different numbers, and by combining multiple digits, we go for next number. Whereas in case of binary, there is one bit entity is having only two combinations, that is 0 and 1. Therefore, we can arrange multiple number of bits to encode the combinations which are next. So suppose if for simplicity if we take a 4-bit number, then each bit is having two combinations. Bit is 0 and 1. So when you are having a 4-bit combination, we give the numbers MSB to LSB, most significant bit to least significant bit. That output we can, just for saying Q is some symbol, there is nothing like specific like Q as some quotient or some quality like that. It's Q is just a symbol, P is just a symbol. So suppose if we take a 4-bit number, then we name them as Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0. So we look towards the combination in a given order from MSB to LSB, and then the least significant, all bits are having at their 0 combination. All bits are having at their 0 combination. So that is the first combination, beginning combination. Then when we go for next combination, what we mean by counting? We advance this combination of 4 bits to next level, to next level, to next level. So next is this bit is made 1 and remaining bits remain 0. Then each time least significant bit, now there is a difference. Suppose if we are having a conventional 2-digit number 00, then we make it 01, then we make it 02, then 03, then 09, and when from 9 we again come to 0 and we make 1. So each time we advance the least significant digit to next combination. In case of decimal system, In case of decimal system, there are 9 combinations 1 to 9 and 0. So total 10 combinations are there. So least significant digit each time, initial state 1, 2, 3 up to 9. And when it again comes back from 9 to 0, that is overflow, this is made 1. Similar it will come to 99. And after 99, it becomes 0 and this also becomes 0. So what is simple logic? I think it is too simple. We should not take much time. Each time, the least significant bit advances from 0 to 1. Again, it will advance to next. So 1 is la means, that's what sometime I had said, that in binary or in general in grammar, single and plural is not a sufficient combination. Single, duet and plural. Ekvachan, dvivachan and bahuvachan. Because when it is 2, 0 next is 1 and 1 next is 0. Whereas here there are many, 0 next is 1, then next is 2, then next is 3. Then after 9 there is a concept of overflow. But in case of 0, 0 to 1, immediately 1 to 0. So which is means if you look at the 1 digit, it counting up 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 0. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 0. And if you count down, then 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 9, 8 like that. So down counting. So up counting and down counting are two different processes for 1 digit, if the digit is a decimal digit. But in case of a binary bit, 0 to 1, 1 to 0, 0 to 1, 1 to 0. So both are same. If you count up 0, you move next to 1, and after 1 as it is overflowing, you move to 0. If when you are down counting from 0, you come to 1, and from again 1, since in down counting you come from 1 to 0, and as you reach 0, again you come to 1. So 1 bit up counter and 1 bit down counter is same in case of binary, whereas in case of our conventional decimal system, up counting and down counting are different sequences. This is the specific thing I have explained to you, not related directly to the point which we are discussing, but very fundamental, that the classification of number of entities based on 1 and many, single and plural is not sufficient. 1, 2 and many. Okay, let us leave that now and we focus here. So from 0 we move to 1. After 1 again we move to 0 because the digits have finished. And when we move from 1 to 0, when we move from 1 to 0, we go for moving its immediate next digit. So it becomes 1. So one state is 0, 0, 0, 0, counter state. Next is 0, 0, 0, 1. Next is 0, 0, 1, 0. Then sequence continues 0 to 1. If it goes from 0 to 1, no change here. Then next from 1 to 0. This goes from, so no change here, so it was 1. It goes from 1 to 0. So change here, 1 to 0. And as 1 to 0 changes here, it changes. So with this way, you can go for all states, and at last state is 1, 1, 1, 1. So all zeros advance to all ones in 2 raised to n steps. All zeros advance to all ones in 2 raised to n steps. So how we will design this circuit? So this counter is to be designed. So what we want? Simply we will explain counter by simple application so that you will understand it very easily. You might have seen that in a conveyor belt in some industry, articles, automatic packaging, say some kind of pens are moving on a conveyor belt. Some kind of pens are moving on a conveyor belt. So how many articles have moved? So what can be there? Suppose this is the article, conveyor belt is moving like this. Say on this side and this side I can put infrared sensors. I can put infrared LED which generates and this senses. So what happens is this emits infrared light, this senses infrared light, continuous light is falling here. When the article comes, the light is disturbed, and when the article goes, again light is there. So what we can have, if we have appropriate further signal conditioning circuitry at this infrared LED source, infrared LED sensor. So if I design a circuit, then I will be getting such pulses. I will be getting such pulses. So a pulse 1 to 0 pulse is one article going on. 1 to 0 pulse coming is one article is passing. Then that industry, that conveyor belt may be in the industry, in the shop floor, and in the manager's cabin, he wants to know how many articles have passed. So what must be there? LED. Now LED display is everybody is knowing. So LED display should be there at the manager's cabin. So as number of articles pass, the count should be available on in the manager's cabin. So that now binary to decimal and its actual display is different thing. But prior to that, what circuit I should have? I should have a circuit like this, which will give me 4 outputs. Q3, Q2, Q1, Q0, and this is coming, and this is a clock. So a counter for a counter, whenever this clock input is there, when one falling edge comes, the counter should move to, when one falling edge comes, the counter should move to next state. So initially all values of the outputs Q3, Q2, Q1, Q0 are 0, 0, 0, 0. Then it should become 0, means bits, or to be very precise, if we want to avoid the confusion between binary, hex and decimal, instead of 0 and 1, sometimes we prefer that we should talk in terms of low, 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 then low, 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 high, low, low, high, low, 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 high, high. So 4 LEDs are there, none of them is glowing, this LED glows, then this glows, this goes off, then both LEDs glow, the next state L, H, L, L. So like this, LEDs not glowing, 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 glowing, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, or low, 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 high, low, low, high, low, like that. So what is a counter? Counter is a digital circuit. Counter is a digital circuit which advances to states 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, and so on. So now it is a 4-bit counter. Like that we can start with a 2-bit counter. We can start with a 2-bit counter. So to understand counter, we should, those who have not yet seen the videos, previous videos, then they should stop this video here. First they should watch the video on JK flip-flop, that is the video which I have already uploaded, sequential circuits, I think lecture number 4, last video on sequential circuits. So So they should once again watch that video so that the fundamentals are clear, and then they should continue watching this video. Those who are well conversant, either they have learned earlier or they have watched my videos, they should continue watching this video. So we are having JK flip-flop, J, K, Q and Q bar. Now the Q and Q dash, I have specifically saying it is Q dash and not Q bar, but normally in the world it is uttered as Q bar, so we may Q bar. The names J and K, it is said that it is as given as Jack and King. Sometimes it is said that why the names are given like this. Then Q is whether Q is Queen. So it is just why such names were given is I think now let us not spend our time in that discussion. And it is having one pin called as clock pin, CLK bar. So we are having a JK flip-flop. We are having a JK flip-flop. Obviously 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pins are there. Obviously supply pins. And how the things work? The truth table we will just revise: J, K, Q, Q bar. First clock, it is called as clock bar because it is active low. Then J, K, Q and Q bar. When clock bar is 0, when clock bar is 1, when clock bar is going down, irrespective of J and K, last state is maintained. Means just like we have got a mobile camera, things are going on. So when you want to capture some picture, you press your finger on some button, so whatever is on the other side is captured. Similarly, this clock input pin, the inputs J and K of this is of course this is a master slave JK flip-flop, which was explained in extreme detail in lecture in the specific lecture on JK flip-flop. So this J and K are not at all checked every time. These are checked only at the time of the falling edge. Only at the time of falling edge of JK flip-flop, the outputs Q and Q bar change. Those are checked at the time of rising edge. So whatever were the inputs at the time of rising edge of JK flip-flop, inputs at the time of rising edge of JK flip-flop are considered by the master inside, that is copied by the slave at the time of falling edge. So J and K inputs at the time of rising edge of the clock are considered, and the outputs are modified at the time falling edge depending upon J and K combinations. So changes don't take place when outputs change. When clock is 0, outputs are not changing. When clock is on, outputs are not changing. When clock is going up, outputs are not changing. When clock is going down, so when clock is going down, at that time outputs change reflects here. So if inputs are 0, 0, still last state is maintained. If inputs are 0, 1, inputs are 0, 1, outputs are 0, 1. If inputs are 1, 0, outputs are 1, 0. And this is at the time of clock going down. And to be very precise, this we can be as it is, and we can write clock going up and down. So this is very scientific. So if clock is not changing, it is either 0 or 1. If clock is steady, no change occurs. Once clock goes up and then comes down, that time this is called as toggle. So I will explain very clearly. Now it is small revision. So I think everybody must understand. So J and K are input pins. Clock is also an input pin. If clock is remaining 0 or 1 constantly, then even if J and K change, both inputs change, the outputs don't change. Outputs are either 0, 1 or 1, 0. They remain throughout 0, 1 or 1, 0. For a master slave JK flip-flop, outputs are either 0, 1 or 1, 0. They can never be 0, 0. So outputs continue to hold the state in which they were there. Now in this scenario, when a pulse comes, clock goes high and then goes low. So a rising edge followed by a falling edge, what is done is the inputs J and K are checked by the flip-flop at the time of rising edge, and the outputs are delivered at the time of falling edge. So at the time of rising edge, of clock pulse, if inputs J and K are 0, 0, still outputs don't change. So outputs continue as they were. What they were, we don't know. Whatever it may be, 0, 1 or 1, 0, they continue. Then if inputs J is 0 and K is 1, if input J is 0 and K is 1, in that case, once clock goes up and then clock goes down, the outputs are made 0, 1. So JK 0, 0, outputs continue to have last state. JK 0, 1, outputs become 0, 1. Q becomes 0, Q bar becomes 1. JK 1, 0, outputs become 1, 0. Q becomes 1, Q bar becomes 0. And if J and K are 1, 1, and then clock rising edge and falling edge is there, outputs toggle. Toggle means what? If they were 0, 1, they become 1, 0. If they were 1, 0, they become 0, 1. Means if input is 0, 0, output is last state. If input is 1, 1, output is reverse of last state. So for 0, 0 input, last state is maintained. For 1, 1 input, last state is toggled. Whereas inputs are 0, 1, outputs are 0, 1 irrespective of last state. Inputs are 1, 0, outputs are 1, 0 irrespective of last state. So if inputs are these two, in these two combinations, it is acting just like a combinational circuit. Means in these two cases, output is fixed and not depending on last state. Means there are some programs, means suppose if you are a person with some fixed schedule, then what you are supposed to do is decided by you on your own. You are not allowing anybody else to determine. So just doing anything, just continuing what was there, that is not done. So that is a fixed decision. Like that, when inputs are 0, 1 or 1, 0, outputs are fixed 0, 1 and 1, 0. Whereas if input is 0, 0 and 1, 1, this input does not demand a specific output. So both outputs are possible. for input 0 0, last state means what? That's what I discussed in earlier. It both outputs are possible. Here also both outputs are possible. Means if last state was 0 1 and means it is just like I will explain it in very detail. Suppose if I keep J0 K1, I keep J0, so what I do, I have switches, I can control any input. I keep J0 and K1 and then give a clock. What will happen? Q bar. Q will become 0, Q bar will become 1. I keep J0 K1. Listen very carefully, this is very fundamental. J I can keep, K I can keep, clock pulse I can give using a button. I can press a button. When I press a, just like push button, I press a push button. When it is pushed, clock will become 1. When it is released, clock will become 0. Is it clear? So see, I explain this because that is fundamental. Maybe a few may say that you are too slow, but this is something which one must know. So this circuit I am having. So for this circuit, I got a switch. Now, you may be, this is Z, this is K, this is clock. Bubble indicating active low, clock bar. So for J, what I can have? For J and K, I can have a one-pole two-way switch. For J and K, I can have a one-pole two-way switch. I can put it to 1, I can put it to, means this is plus 5 volts, this is ground. Same thing is for K. And for this clock, I will have a separate arrangement here. So for K also, this is position 1, this is position 2. For K also, I can have plus 5 volts and ground. So if I put this switch here, J will be 1. If I put this switch here, J will be 0. Whereas for this, what I can have is this I will ground and here it is through 5K resistor, it is grounded, pull down, it is called a pull down resistor. It is called a pull down resistor. So now what will happen? If this is position 1, this is position 2. So I can, it's a manual circuit. I can keep J at any position, K at any position. So those will be available. And this plus 5 volts on this side, it is grounded through 5K. So if the switch is not pressed, what will happen? If the switch is not pressed, this would be continuously low. If I press the switch, what will happen? It is a push button switch and this is a one pole two-way switch. Means this switch is having two positions just like staircase wiring, and this is just like a bell. So the switch is a doorbell. Means this switch can remain in any position. It can, if you put it at say one position, it will remain at one position. If you put it at two position, it will remain two position continuously unless you change it again. Whereas this switch is like a doorbell switch. If you don't do anything, it will remain open. You have to press to close. and once you release again it opens. So what will happen now? So what this circuit is, and it having outputs Q and Q bar. So what you have done? You have connected LEDs. You have connected LEDs. Maybe current limiting resistor also you can put. So this Q and Q bar both are LEDs. So what you can do? J and K you can put anything, and Q and Q bar you can check, and clock you can give. So I will explain what is the meaning of these two states and these two states. So suppose if you start with the sequence J, you can put to position 1. So J is logic 1. K is logic 0. Is it right? So it is you who can perform the experiment. J is logic 1, K is logic 0. So you put J to 1, K to 2. And then you press the switch. You press the switch S. It is a clock switch. You press the switch S and release the switch. So what is happening? Clock is given up, clock has come down. So what was J was 1, K is 1, and then you give the pulse. So what I will write, instead of writing in the truth table form, I write in sentence form because it's a human action. So what we have done, J is 1 and K is 0 is step 1, switch is pressed and released, means pulse is given. Pulse is given. Is it right? J is 0, J is 1, K is 0, pulse is given. What will happen? Q will become 1, Q will be 1, and Q bar will be 0. So it is Q bar. So J is 1, when you give pulse with J as 1 and K as 0, Q will become 1, J is 1, K is 0, Q becomes 1 and Q bar will be 0. Now, so J is set by you, K is set by you. Now if you set, you can check it. J is 0 and K is 0. Pulse is given. Then Q will remain, I am using the word, Q will remain 1 and Q bar will remain 0. Instead of B, I use the word become. I think you will understand the difference between Q will become here, and here also Q will becomes here. I will explain this meaning very appropriately. So I write on this side, this is experiment operation 1. Set something, press switch. Operation 2. Now operation 3, what you can do? Operation 3, you can have J is 0 and K is 1, pulse is given. What will happen? J is 0, K is 1, pulse is given. In that case, I am continuing here. In that case, next I am writing here. that case Q will become and Q bar will become, Z is 0, so Q will become 0, Q bar will become 1. Then step 4. Step 4, Z is and K is, both are 0. Pulse is given. Then Q will and so you concentrate on this. Case 2 and case 4. So in this case what we find is the inputs J and K, when they are 0 0 and you give pulse, output can be 1 0 or output can be 0 1 also. Whereas when you make them either 1 0 or 0 1, 0 1, Q and Q bar become something specific. Become something specific. Whereas for 0 0 and 1 1, they either remain or they toggle. So when inputs are 0 0, now actually you can have an exercise. Take any sequence, whatever you like, randomly. J and K this, give pulse. J and K this, give pulse. Only thing is, no setup is needed. Manually you can think everything. J and K, you can give any combination 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1 in any manner, give pulse, what the output would be. So 0 0 input state of JK and 1 1 input state of JK, in these two input states, output depend on previous state, either as it is or inverted. So both outputs are possible. Listen very carefully, this is very fundamental point of flip-flop. Inputs 0 0 and 1 1, input JK 0 0 and input JK 1 1 are not demanding states. Suppose if you go to some hotel, there are few who are demanding, they want, I want this, and there are few, what they ask, give me something, give me something. So those are non-demanding customers. Non-demanding customers means anything is okay with them, and demanding customers, they want specific thing. So input states, input combination 0 0 and 1 1 are non-demanding input combinations. So they don't fix the output. They allow either previous outputs to continue or they make previous outputs to change, toggle. Means now this one example we have to give. Now after this, now after step 4, if I say step 5, if I come to step 5, say step 5, what I will do, I will make J as 0, sorry, J as 1 and K as 1, and obviously pulse is given. Pulse is given. Then Q will, what was Q? Was 0. Q will invert or complement to 1 and Q bar will invert invert to 0. It was 0 and 1, it will become 1 0. Now again step 6. If you still keep j is 1 and k is 1, and if you again give the pulse, then what will happen? Then q will invert again to 0 and q bar will invert to 1. So here 1 1 were there, 1 0, outputs 1 0. Here inputs 1 1, output 0 1. So in case of input 0 0 and 0 1, both outputs are possible depending upon last state. But in case of input 0 1 and 1 0, they set. So input 1 0 sets the flip flop, Q becomes 1. Input 0 1 resets the flip flop, Q becomes 0. Input 0 0 maintains last state. Input 0 1 toggles last state. So 0 0 and 0 1 are input combinations which determine the output exclusively based on last state, either continuation or its complement. Whereas in case of input 0 1 and 1 0, last state doesn't matter. It forces output to be 0 1 or 1 0. This is the sequence in which the things proceed. Now I will add one more input pin, and without any internal circuitry details, because that will take too much time. That is a reset input. There is a master reset. In fact, its detailed circuitry we can discuss, but right now we don't have time. Sometime if you come out of mid-sem examination pressure, we can discuss it at a leisure time. So now there is one more, J, K and clock conventional pins, Q and Q bar. J, K, clock, Q and Q bar, and there is one clock, one reset bar. Now why bar? Sometimes active low. So reset input mask, or called as clear input also. There is a preset, but right now we don't discuss that. A master clear, or we can have it master reset. Master reset, MR bar. Master reset bar. So this master reset is overriding input over all. This master reset is an overriding input over all the combinations. Means master reset input forces the flip-flop to go to reset state. Master reset input forces the flip-flop to go to reset state. So master reset input, it is active low. So when it is 0, all other pins are not checked. They can be anything, nothing happens. Q becomes 0 and Q, actually Q dash, I use Q dash, but Q dash, let it be Q bar, this becomes 1. So this master reset is a facility by which, irrespective of anything, the flip-flop can be brought to reset state. Especially it is very much useful in designing counters. And when master reset is 1, when master reset is not active, then the previous truth table of flip-flop. For clock 0 or clock 1, irrespective of J and K, last state is maintained. Or to indicate last state, you write it as, this is next state, Qn plus 1, Q bar n plus 1, and it is written as Qn and Qn bar. So last state, when this is 1, this is going up and then going down. Means when master is not active, clock pulse is given. That time if J and K are 0, 0, last state is maintained. Qn bar. If 1, clock going high and low, 0, 1, it is 0. It is 1, clock going up, clock going down, 1, 0, 1, 0. It is 1, clock going up, clock going down, 1, 1. It is Qn. It is Qn bar. This is Qn bar, and it is Qn. So this is this one Qn. Remember, it is very clear. Qn plus 1 is Qn bar, and Q bar, Qn plus 1 bar, that is complement, is its last state. So if this is confusing, then because this bar may be confusing, you can put dash, or in general you can leave this completely Q and Q bar, and it is better. You can write it as last state, last state, last state, and toggle. Toggle means invert. Earlier Q, at this time, if earlier Q is 1, it becomes 0. If it is 0, it becomes 1, and means if Q bar were 0, 1, they become 1, 0. If Q bar were 1, 0, they become 0, 1. This is in case of this flip-flop. Now we want to design counters, and this master, and when master reset is made active low, when it is made 0, irrespective of anything, flip-flop resets. So using master reset, you can reset the flip-flop anytime, and when master reset is not active, you can use the flip-flop as per the truth table given. Now we want to design a counter. So obviously we should start with 2-bit counter. We should start with 2, not 4-bit counter, 2-bit counter. So what we want a device wherein Q1 and Q0 are the outputs. They should be 0, 0. Then it should become 0, 1. Next is 1, 0. Next is 1, 1. Next is 1, 1. So this is clock. So when one pulse is given, the output should change as specified, right? So this is, so what is the requirement? I should have some circuit. For which clock we give from this end in there, or from any end we can give clock. I think this now we can remove, that is everything is well known. So somehow you want a circuit for which there should be one clock pin, there should be overall master reset, clock, master reset, and 2 outputs, Q1 and Q0. So when clock is there, they should change 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. This is 2-bit counter. Then you will make it 3-bit counter, 4-bit counter. Like that you will go on increasing. Just like conveyor belt. So when the article passes, it will move to next state. And suppose if you want to reset, you can give this master reset, you keep it to 1 always, don't use. And when you want to reset it, you will make it 0. and then again make 1, so output will be 0. So what kind of how we will design the counter? I will give you a hint. You can start thinking on your own. Those who don't want to get the ready-made discussion can pause the counter. Can pause the video, think on their own, and resume the video. Those who want to learn directly can continue watching video. So the hint is, for each bit we need one flip-flop. For each bit we need one flip-flop. So 2-bit counter, 2 flip-flops. 3-bit counter, 3 flip-flops. 4-bit counter, 4 flip-flops. So for this circuit there are 2 flip-flops. Now when there are 2 flip-flops, internal names J, K, Z, just like global and local variable, Q, Q bar, Q, Q bar. Clock is there, CLK bar, CLK bar. It is having master reset. Just I am showing below. Right now I am not requiring, so I will keep it at plus 5 volts. This also I will keep it plus 5 volts. So this I am not requiring. Clock we make common. It is called as synchronous counter. Definition I will explain later. So clock of all I will make common. So this is clock. So that or to be very precise, master reset of all is also made common, and right now I am not using it, so that pin will come outside. So master reset of this and master reset of this, both I will make common, and that will come as master reset. I am not using, so I will keep it at plus 5 volts. Then one output comes out, one output comes out. One is called as Q1, other is called as Q0. So there are 2 flip-flops. Output of each will come. One is Q1, one is Q0. Now what we want, and what sequence we want? Q1, Q0, Q1, Q0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, then 0, 0. So what we want, this is at each clock. After every clock, outputs must go on